Hey, everybody. How y'all doing tonight?
Decent enough. Mhm.
Superb. We had a few exciting moments of mini sessions over the previous week with a few different bits and bobs and different tasks to be achieved, goals to be accomplished, and mysteries to uncover. And each of you have had a good little bit of progress in doing so. At the moment, it would probably be like the I'd say probably the 22nd or so, which would be when Rat and Hiroe would be finishing their previous expedition. Golden's character, friend, is set to return tomorrow. Next session, we will be starting doing the Bastion turn at the 21st.
And I assume that's when we'll also be able to take care of making this armor for Tefrid.
Mm hmm. Very true. So, Rat, you've been noticing how Hiroe's been having his pretty sour look the entire way back. How does this end up developing, considering that you're finally starting to be able to pick up at least a little bit on other people's emotions?
Uh, I don't know if on the way back he would delve into it at all, but he would certainly take a note of it. He's still pretty focused on his own aspect of it. Maybe if this was not something deeply personal to him, he would be paying more attention to how other people are influenced by it, but
Makes sense.
right now he's very much processing how to get things done for the things he needs done.
Then I take it we're probably heading right back to the inn.
Probably. We've got the information. We need to roll over everything. Red is on a mission as always. Well, not as always, specifically not.
You get back decently late in the day, not quite when it's time to start prepping to head to sleep, but you got a bit of time to categorize, take some notes, get things in order. I would assume that probably means Rat does his routine gun cleaning that is basically mandatory for him, even on days when he's not hasn't fired it. And Hiroe probably partially going over his spells if he can. Is he able to? So go ahead.
He will be in a little bit.
Rat, you first.
Rat takes apart and puts back together his weapon more than he fires it.
Probably
Kinda
true.
base.
By the time you fire this once, you will know this gun inside and out.
True that.
So tell me, Hero, what's your ending routine like?
Typically, Hiraway goes over making sure that any like blemishes on his clothes or his weapons are pressed away or cleaned manually in the case of his sword. He inspects the jewel on his sword scabbard for any flaws that may have developed, in case he has to shift gears and prepare mending tomorrow. And also, in a sense, kind of not discharging exactly, but essentially like safely discharging the spells that are kind of coiled up in his mind like springs almost.
Being able to stop focusing on it?
Yeah. Because the way that I'm imagining it for the wizard stuff is like the reason that he can cast spells in a timely manner is because he like gets 90% of the way there, locks a spell in his mind, and gets the next one ready to go. And that ends up being
He really is just like
how he
Rat.
prepares spells for the day.
Friend, what is it
I-
like for you as you're camping out part way down the road?
Probably just enjoying the outdoors, not really thinking of anything specific.
What does it look like for Friend immediately before he heads into his sleep-like state?
Probably the world slowing down a bit.
I can buy that. It's kind of going more into a stasis than getting drowsy.
Yeah.
Works for me. It is now the 23rd. Hero and Rat don't know it, but they have about 2 hours before Friend gets back.
Rat, about last night, I have something to confide in you. I have to apologize.
His head just lightly tilts.
My involvement in this has suddenly become a great deal more selfish as of last night. I hope you take no issue with me also seeking vengeance of a sort.
Good. He
It's good to hear.
he kind of shifts his face a little bit and sits up a little bit. The more personal the conflict, the more reliable you are to finish it. I don't care what it has to do with you. What I care is whether or not you'll finish it.
And I will.
He kind of hunches back down and starts continues back on what he was doing.
I'll finish compiling the information book with the other information we were able to gather, so that when the others are ready, we can present our findings.
He gives a couple nods, but is back to engrossed in his routine work.
Friend ends up returning to the rest of the city and I would presume makes his way to the inn to attempt to start communicating with the rest of them, as Hero is probably about 85% of the way figuring out how he wants to categorize and take the notes and actually get all of that information crisscrossed. Currently, Kaio and Tefrid are out performing other activities, as Kaio is studying up with some of the paladins and clerics, trying to learn a bit about the magic, and Tefrid is doing a bit of research. Friend is able to head upstairs, and both Hero and Rat are able to hear as he walks up the stairs.
That's one thing sorted.
One more. Sorry, if I'm not mistaken, we hear Friend coming up.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Rat says one more as he puts down what he's doing and makes his way to be near the entrance.
If the door's not already open, then Friend will open it.
Rat, he cannot open normal sized doors on his own. Not easily.
Hirue has gone to open it.
One of the things I imagine is Rat probably can only open the doors that have like the long handle type doors.
Yeah.
Where like he does the thing
certainly-
a cat does where he jumps up and like grabs onto it and uses his
Yeah.
weight as like the pulling.
He certainly can open knobbed doors, but like it's like giving a cat opposable thumbs. They probably could open the door, but it wouldn't be very easy for them.
Mm.
Like he could probably like push up with his tail on a jump and twist at like a good timing, because like he probably could get that timing down. But like, it's so much easier to just stand next to the door and point at it and have your way open it.
As the door opens, you see Friend taking something out of his pack. Before he can get the rest of it out, he turns towards you. You're away.
Yes.
He says as just like a greeting.
Good to see you, friend.
He finishes taking the item out, which appears to be a shield with gems lined around the edges, and puts it down on the nearest table, along with 2 copper and 1 gold.
Rat kind of jumps up onto the table and starts looking at the shield. It has caught his attention. Hoarding instincts.
To give a bit more detail on it, it seems to be a form of like either cast iron or wrought iron. It has a series of 12 gems in 4 groups of 3, where there's 3 of the same type on each of its 4 like axes. So each of the sets of 3 is in a small triangular pattern at the edge, 90 degrees from the other. In the center is a engraving that is obvious to even the layperson as like symbols of magic, but not as like runes or anything, but more like decorations in the same way that you might see a decoration of fire or a decoration of like a flower.
Mm-hmm. Representative of magic. Calligraphy of magic, one might call it.
Yeah.
So, since you've been gone for several days, I take it you were successful?
Somewhat. We could not get all that we bargained for.
Do what?
Oh.
It matters not now, though. How about your search?
Fruitful. To be more precise, we found quite a few details that show where this group of miscreants have been, but little in the way that proves their identity yet beyond a record book that we were able to acquire.
Sounds like a good start.
Need no find what name mean.
I actually have some information about one of the names. Helen Arasana. The name Arasana is one I'm familiar with from my time in Dugan. I knew a man, a Firbolg, by the name of Arasana, who was a respected merchant. When at one point, myself and several others were to audit him because there were suspicious transactions. That went poorly. He fled the city, and in so doing, dragged my name and reputation through the mud. And I never did find out what exactly he wanted to hide so badly. I likely wouldn't be alive if I had. But the tactics we observed are similar to what I would expect from him.
So Helene Arisana, name is Verbogman.
Yes, I imagine she's a relative, a wife, a sister, a daughter.
He kind of tilts his head.
She? Where? What?
Rat clearly does
Really?
not get the gendering of names that are not draconic. You were just talking about the name and then talking about him, so his association was that. Okay, so is this person Helena Arsana?
Apologies, no. This is not the Arsana that I knew. This is someone from his family.
Name connect. Verbog family clan rat-like?
Possibly. From what little I was able to glean, he was willing to commit acts of great fraud and slaughter for the purpose of protecting his family.
Sense make.
What little I know of the Arasana family is that they are not enemies to be taken lightly. We've observed some of that ourselves in our time in the Boneyard. And given the Kobold Girl's mention of a strange dialect of Draconic being spoken, well, quite possibly the third most common language in Nugan is Draconic, but the Yuan-Ti dialect. The dialect that I speak.
Rat kind of shudders.
Make people ruin language. Change place. Not dragon from.
Right. The fact that they were using this strange dialect, to me, implies that they were using it because they didn't anticipate there being many people who could understand it around, considering that we are rather far from the kingdoms. A way to conceal their dealings. What do you
Friend.
think, friend? Rat?
Fred looks like he's a bit lost in thought, and then quickly snaps back into motion. You sound like you've had quite a bit of history with them.
By quantity, not much. By quality, yes. I should like to see that entire family brought to justice to restore at least a bit of my prestige.
Like spell before or after?
Before. But if that bomb was any indication, they've done rather well for themselves after the spell plague.
And only you weaker. Fail then too?
Their inherent magic would be weaker, and several items would have likely been rendered unusable. But they've had years since then, years to grow stronger, years to make new items. I've had to do it on my own. They have an entire family and all of their hired lackeys and all the information that wealth can buy at their disposal.
See now perhaps value of clan.
Community has always been important.
He shakes his head.
Still not yet.
If you need my help with them, you won't need to do it on your own.
Can you repeat that last part? I'm sorry.
He said you won't need to do it on your own.
Thank you. Enough about us. What were you able to find?
He like motions to the shield, or like the talks, do you mean?
Hmm?
Do you mean the shield or the talks?
Yes.
Hold on, I gotta pull out my notes.
Mhm.
As I said, we were not able to get everything that we had came for. But at the very least, they've agreed to send out scouting parties. They've agreed to set up some groups, and he's trying to think of the correct words to use. Outposts to keep an eye on the area. More importantly, they have determined to not tell the public.
Understandable.
Why one? Keep high.
It was determined that since there is no clear threat identifiable, it would only serve to cause panic in the public. So, until such a time arises that the public would need to know, they will not.
Sensible.
Red is very clearly lost.
Why call?
The Delmarovs?
He nods.
Why here?
I don't claim to understand their policies, but, well, many of their number are paladins, so I can't imagine they would take kindly to the spread of undead.
As I said, we could not get everything that we came to bargain for, but with this at least, we should have ample time to know if any real problem is coming.
We have information, and information is the most valuable tool for winning a war.
Still not
Rather,
think our war win.
we have a very slim chance at best.
No.
He kind of shifts his posture.
I mean, it's not our war to fight at all.
Would friend have heard that? Because it sounds like that was in Draconic.
That was in Draconic, yeah. Anytime he makes any sensible, any kind of sense, it's most likely in Draconic.
We may not be the best equipped to do anything about it, but every bit extra, every extra die that is cast is a slightly greater chance that we will have a world to live in when this is all said and done. By my reckoning, even if this is not our war, then we still owe it to ourselves to do something to maximize the chance that we will remain after.
He nods a couple of times.
Don't get wrong. Still want not undead man. But tools have available. Things need do, not match. Tool first, war second.
Absolutely. And that's why our next venture is to meet with the dwarves.
If all goes well, that is.
Yes, that is true.
We may not have a choice.
Ooh.
If we don't have a choice, then we're damned either way. So we might as well make use of what tools that we have.
More than use tool have, make tool.
Good point. My only concern is that it may be difficult to bring Kyle along for this. He has a rather short-sighted view of self-preservation.
No. Very easy bring Kyle with. Tool need win war. Power. Kyle power. Where power, money. Kyle money. All interest follow.
You bring up a good point, though it's a matter of making him see it that way.
Easy. That way.
He kind of just gestures towards himself.
What just say? Is
Fair
true
enough.
too. Not lie. Not deceive people.
He's trying to say deceit, clearly, but he just gives up on it.
Truth tell. Reason different. Outcome same.
I won't argue with you there. I just worry that if anything goes wrong, he will be the first to flee.
If cog melts in fire, make gun break, then cool gun. Different pieces work different. Still same result. Piece together, make condition.
You try to convince us you're not good with people.
Shakes his head no.
Not care people, not convince people, but no machine. Sometime people machine. When not machine, not no.
Fair enough. So, friend, is there anything we need to be aware of before we set out for the dwarves on the 31st?
Or potentially sooner.
Yeah, but I want to do it at the start of a bastion turn so that we have floating disc.
Makes sense, actually.
He isn't really reacting, but you can probably guess that he's trying to go through everything from the talks.
You think you need floating disc on the way out?
Probably.
Rat kind of looks at friend.
Sneak find way meeting or talkie?
talk, Atrodon was most helpful. On that note, I promised I would introduce him to Bitter Trunk. So, that is the only detour we would need to make.
Rat kind of crosses his arms.
Waste is metal good, so much in tree.
What he wastes as a tree, he will make up for as an ally.
He just kind of furls his nose and starts grumbling about how much he could do with Mithril under his breath.
So true.
The talks should not take long.
So, Firstborn still talk with Radon or Duntalk?
Important note, Rat has called Dragonborn Firstborn, like, repeatedly. That's basically how he exclusively refers to them as.
I see. The first talk is done. I do not know if there have been plans for another.
What did Taku bring? Firstborn sent chief? Or just scout? How serious threat see?
Luther, what are the, not the houses of the city, but like the groups called?
The 5 guilds?
Yeah. Okay. Heads of all 5 guilds were there, along with what's his name? Tejik. And several more Dragonborn. They seem to have taken the threat seriously, but remain a bit skeptical of its scale.
Also an awkward diplomatic situation. If they get too involved, they'll be seen as trying to claim the city as their exclusive territory, and the kingdoms in the Empire will start warring once again.
Or just kind of shakes his head.
That's just like, y'all dumb.
Yeah, literally just the fucking.
It's like, what,
So
you're
just-
gonna go to war because he helped you?
Yeah, just literally in his head, just the massive word "stupid," like idiot.
That feels like a very good like animated skit where it just like the speech bubble just starts to rise out of the head and it just expands and it's just like stupid.
They may
At the
get
very
a war
least,
yet.
the fact that
Frem was just saying that they may get a war yet.
War with
that's
not
it.
men, but dead men. Man thing.
That's
Right.
it. The fact that the Delmarevs should hopefully allay some of the concerns, at least.
Allay.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Censors.
You're the one who
away.
said it.
I'm going to curl myself.
We're gonna have to
Anyway.
allay the censors.
I hate it here. It should allay some of their concerns because By my understanding, the Delmarevs are a slightly independent political organization. They are part of the Empire, they do not represent the Empire. In the best case scenario, this may result in the kingdom sending some troops to help as well to keep up appearances and ensure that things remain at least somewhat neutral.
And means what for? Is good kingdom and empire send, or bad?
In most of the circumstances I can think of, it would be good here. Specifically because it's the Delmarevs.
So not violent react.
Probably not. And also, there is no guarantee that they will react.
Think not. Kingdom soldier. This.
Kind of tilts his head. Shifts himself.
Do you not think, perhaps, that kingdom soldiers who see Delmarevs who have been killing them for decades is not going to cause tensions, problems?
There absolutely will be tensions. In fact, there likely will be tensions with the people of the city because many of the people here have sought some degree of independence from the kingdoms and the empire. And I'm sure that having Delmarevs here is quite a blow to them. But the hope is that there will end up being an equilibrium. An uneasy equilibrium, but to maintain it, they would likely want to withdraw once the threat of Cardon is gone. Especially if those aligned with the city, such as ourselves, are the ones responsible.
Understand, not aligned city. City contained same issue. Every other place have.
Yes, but they don't see it that way. They see that I am firmly aligned with the developmentalists, that Friend has thrown in his lot with the naturalists, that you bear no allegiance to anything except your clan. And they will see that as us being an independent party. Because we are an independent party. It's far from perfect.
Well, steps have take made.
Mm.
Left to do is see, follow, path set.
Indeed. As for the goblin, I intend to keep him on the investigation, but I think I am going to not tell him about Arasana specifically. Knowing that much could be dangerous for him, and I want to retain him for a little bit longer at least.
More or less dangerous him. dangerous. Well, if tell know what about, want not
He,
stay.
if he knows about our sauna, then he'll start making focused inquiries, focused investigations, and he could very well end up like what could have happened with the kobold if we hadn't found her. Better to have him searching somewhat blindly.
He lightly nods, was clearly thinking. I have got food that has come that I must eat at some point soon, so.
I don't think there's much left for us to cover at this point, is there?
I feel like we've gone through most of our
Mhm.
reconvening.
Probably best to leave most of the rest of it for when the other two are here.
Wise?
What do you say, Golden? Do you see?
Do we want to save the shield identify for later then?
Rat can identify
Oh.
it in interim if you'd like.
Sure.
Or we could identify it in session more. I know not
We
how
could
important it is.
No, we could identify it right now. Rat's got identify prepared, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. He always has identify prepared.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like his whole thing.
Bro is the item man.
Friend would also want the gold taken, as he does not use it.
So it was 1 gold, 2 copper, right?
Yes.
I'll put that in.
G&B. Is my JC here, or are they dead in the dirt? Dead in the dirt it is.
Tragic.
Okay, in which case I'm going to go get my food and start eating
Mhm.
for a little bit. I'll just stay in the VC, but I won't be here, so when I come back, maybe, if, JC is back by then, I'll
Mm-hmm.
talk, but I gotta go get my food.
JC, you might be muted.
Nope.
Okay.
Just didn't think there was much else to need to cover, was there?
No.
You?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless there's something I missed.
I think we got pretty much everything.
Mhm.
All that's really left is take care of the crafting, but that will be done as part of the Bastion turn.
Then let's leave it with a bit of. Would Rat like to cast Identify?
Chad said he always has it prepared and it's a ritual, so he had to go and get food, so...
No. Well, I will let him do it nonetheless. Friend, are you able to drag from your inventory onto his sheet? Like, actually, does it even show it as a, does it only show your personal,
Whose sheet?
like, Rats?
The only other sheets I have access to are the storage ones
Gotcha.
and disk. So what I could do is drag it to disk.
Or the group.
Yeah, group mobile storage.
Okay. So let's see if it works. It is now in mobile storage.
Why is group mobile storage a 5 fighter, 1 creature? How did this happen?
We've been over this before.
Yeah, but I didn't realize it didn't get undone.
You didn't?
Nope.
You might want to undo the
6
the
levels?
stats too.
Yeah, probably true. Well then, considering that this is going to be a shorter one, all we got to do is wait for him to get back.
Mm-hmm. There we go. I fixed the.
Thanks. It is dead.
Oh, fixed it.
Buttercup
Level
and
drain is
Molly
kinda
are
fucked
both
up.
joyous for you. With you.
Mm-hmm.
To you? Perchance. They are both joyous
What?
to you.
Okay.
You know, the 2 mules. Molly and Buttercup.
Right.
They are joyous to you. They thank you. They don't want to be level 6 adventurers, they want to be level 1 creatures.
Why the fuck would you not want to be a level 6?
That's like prime dying hours.
Yeah, we've been fine so far.
Ba-da-ba-ba.
Are you back?
Me when the rat is tiny and far away.
Here, this is probably quicker than. And he had said he was going to identify it.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know why we've been just sitting here in silence for the past 7 minutes.
Chillin'.
Well, that's obvious. He needs to identify it.
Yeah, he needs to identify it. Does Leroy know identify?
No.
Exactly. Either way, if you feel strongly about it, you can go ahead and do it. If you feel strongly about it.
Here it is. Oh, hey, I think I recognize this shield.
Do you?
Yeah, Volstrom Territories. Those guys who had the fucking gems.
Hmm.
Funny, and it's not attunement.
Damn, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, forecasts of absorb elements is pretty nice.
Yeah, it's more specifically one cast of each absorb element, since there's 4 categories that
I
can
know.
be absorbed. So most of the time it's only going to be 1, but sometimes it might be 2. Maybe 3.
So, what is that? Fire, cold, acid?
Acid, cold, fire, lightning, and thunder.
Okay.
So which one's being left out?
Huh? Thunder.
Yeah. One reaction which you take when you take acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage. And it makes sense since thunder is kind of the de facto wind damage.
I've always thought as thunder as sound damage.
Oh yeah, but it's also used for wind stuff. Like if I'm not mistaken, Storm Sphere does thunder damage.
Huh. I guess I'm just dyslexic and can't count. Then there's actually 15 gems.
Wait a minute. Storm Sphere only does bludgeoning and lightning, what the fuck?
Ooh.
Damn. I'm a fraud.
So what sort of things, considering that you've also been doing this at the time, what's a little bit of the process for Hero and Rat trying to go through actually making the thing, or is that something that you entirely want to leave to next week, or to next session?
Well, Cureway doesn't really have the necessary tools for leatherworking, so I imagine he is essentially providing the additional components for the thing to, like, meet its requirements by creating alchemical treatments for the hide,
Makes sense.
using the materials that are on hand from the party's storage.
Works for me. In the absence of anything else, we can just call this here and let Chad know when he gets back. Y'all can start talking about it.
Sure.
And I
Doesn't-
think I would like that. I am not holding up well.
Doesn't feel like there's much we can do without leaving the rest of them behind.
Yeah. Especially since we are not doing Bastion turn stuff at the moment.
Mm-hmm. But look, so yeah, unless after the stream goes down, we could always fill out the evidence board a bit. But other than that, I think we're good to go. So, thank
So
you.
it would seem.
Thank the 3 of you for coming, showing up,
Mhm.
arriving, etc. And look forward to seeing you not next week, because that is going to be a wonderful
Week after,
Thanksgiving. The week after.
And everyone will be there.
And everyone will be there. And then everyone
Or else.
clapped. Bye-bye.
Bye.